Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geek Report, your look at everything from movies and games to TV and anime.
Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing good. Hope you all are doing happy, doing blessed, doing safe, doing well, doing overall safe. Welcome to your Geek Report for the week of March 24th through March 31st of 2025. We've got a few news items to talk about, so let's get started. So we're going to start off in our TV and movie news segment, and we're going to talk about the Avengers Doomsday announcements. These are the main announcements for the cast of Avengers Doomsday, and there's a lot of them there, and we're going to talk about them in this episode. Then we're going to go down and we're going to talk about Tubi, the streaming service, and how it basically saved the Looney Tunes cartoons. And then from there, we're going to talk about the Legend of Zelda film getting a March 26, 2027 release date with a teaser. And also the fact that it is going to be the first part of a trilogy. And then we're going to go down to our gaming news segment and we're going to talk about Game Informer returning and what this all means for people like me who grew up with Game Informer, and also maybe some new people who have not really seen Game Informer since its closure in 2024. So sit back, relax, grab yourself something to eat, grab yourself something to drink, and let's look at the Geek Report for the week of March 24th through March 31st of 2025.
Our first segment tonight is our movie and TV news segment.
So everyone, let's get started with our movie and TV news this week. And the big story that came out this past week was the official cast announcement for Avengers Doomsday, the next Avengers film. Now, there is a huge cast here, and there's a lot to go over. So we're going to start at the very top. So first off, we got Chris Hemsworth as Thor. He is returning as Thor. Then we got Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. She will be playing Sue Storm not only in Fantastic Four, but also in Avengers Doomsday. We got Anthony Mackie as Captain America and Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes. Good to see them two back as well, okay? We got Letitia White as Black Panther. You know, she played the new Black Panther in the last Black Panther film, and it's good to see her back as well, okay? Then we got Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. You know, he's played Ant-Man in the past couple of Ant-Man films. He's also played Ant-Man in the Avengers films, Avengers Civil War. So, yeah, it's good to see him back as well. We got Wyatt Russell as U.S. Agent. We got Tanoch, and I'm probably saying this name wrong, Tanoch Hirata Meiji as Namor. He played Namor in the last Black Panther film. All right, I did not see that one, but I've heard he was okay. We've got Ebon Moss Backrack as Thing, and he will be playing Thing not only in Avengers Doomsday, but also in Fantastic Four First Steps. We got Simu Liu as Shang-Chi. We've not really heard a lot about Shang-Chi since the movie dropped. Okay, so I'm kind of curious about what's all been going on with him. Then we got Florence Pugh as Elena Belova. We've seen her in the Hawkeye TV series. And we haven't really heard anything from her, but she is playing in the Thunderbolts movie that's coming out soon. So I'm kind of interested to see what she's got. One of the big announcements is we got Kelsey Grammer as Beast. Now, this is really big because this is not Beast from the MCU. He was Beast before the MCU. He was Beast in the old 1990s X-Men films. Okay. So this shows not only are they trying to add in the new cast, but the old ones as well. Okay. And this is kind of a mixed bag, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. Then we got Lewis Pullman as Sentry. You know, he will be playing Sentry in the Thunderbolts movie as well as in this movie as well. Then we got Danny Ramirez as Falcon. You know, he played the Falcon in Brave New World. I'm not too sure about him because I've not really seen him as the Falcon yet because I've not seen Brave New World as the recording of this video. So I'm not too sure about that. We've got Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch. You know, he's playing the Human Torch, Johnny Storm, in Fantastic Four First Steps. We've got David Harbour back as Red Guardian. He's going to be Red Guardian in the Thunderbolts movie. We got Winston Duke as M'Baku. We've got Hannah John Kamen as Ghost. She was the Ghost in Quantumania, so it's interesting to see her back. Another big name we're seeing on here is Tom Hiddleston as Loki. The last time we saw Loki, he had basically destroyed the temporal loom, and he was now the king over all of time. Okay, that was the last time we saw Loki, was in Loki season 2, when he basically took over being the king of all time. Okay, then we got Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier, another old name from the 1990s series. We got Ian McKellen as Magneto and Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler. Two more names that are coming from the 1990s series, pre-MCU X-Men. We've got Rebecca Romijn as Mystique and James Marsden as Cyclops. More names from the old 1990s movies. We've got Channing Tatum as Gambit. Now, this is very interesting because he played Gambit in Deadpool versus Wolverine. Okay. And for years, he'd been wanting to play Gambit. Okay. So I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with him. Okay. Are they going to give us the Gambit we saw in Deadpool versus Wolverine? Or are they going to give us an entirely different Gambit? Or is it going to be kind of a mix between what we've already experienced and something new? So I'm kind of curious on that front. And then we got Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. I'm just going to say it like I've been saying for a while now. I think this is a huge mistake. I have nothing against Pedro Pascal. I think he's a great actor, okay? But I think that John Krasinski was a better Mr. Fantastic in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. But I haven't seen Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic yet, okay? So I really don't know what to expect. But what I do know is when I saw scenes from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, John Krasinski, the guy who we know as John Ryan from the Amazon Prime movies, was an absolutely fantastic Mr. Fantastic. Okay. So, really, I wish they would have gone with John Krasinski. Okay. But they went with Pedro Pascal. So, I mean, there ain't nothing we can do about that. But still, I think it was a mistake not to go with John Krasinski. Okay. I don't know why they didn't go with him, but I wish they would have. Okay. And one final name we need to add to the cast list is Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. This one I really don't know how I feel about because for 10 years we knew Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. We saw him start basically the MCU. Tony Stark started the MCU and ended the MCU when he died, and to see him come back not as Tony Stark, but as Doctor Doom, I am really on the fence about, to be honest. And that's the cast list we have right now. Now, we do know that there could be more names added to this cast list. Okay. And there is some big names that are missing from this cast list. Really, the first thing that kind of jumps out at me is that there are some big names missing. Okay. Where is, Charlie Cox as Daredevil? Where is Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin? Where are those two names at on this list? Where is Tiona Paris, who plays Monica Rambeau, okay, in the Marvels? Where is Iman Vellani? Where is Chris Evans, who played the old Captain America, okay? There are some huge names missing from this list that should be on this list, okay? And they're not there. So, I mean, where's Tom Holland at? Where's Spider-Man at? Where's Benedict Cumberbatch? And I'm probably butchering that name. But where's Doctor Strange at? Okay? Where are they at? Okay? We know Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in it as Doctor Doom. He was in the old MCU as, Tony Stark. But now he's coming back as Doctor Doom. And I just have to wonder what's going on here. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some huge, huge names on this list, okay? But if Doomsday and then right after that, Secret Wars are supposed to encompass the multiverse of Marvel, okay? the MCU, the pre-MCU, the current MCU, then where are these names? Where's Kristen Ritter um as Jessica Jones? Where's Luke Cage at? Where's Iron Fist? Now they have come out and said, "Hey, there's going to be more names added to the list," and I fully expect that at least Benderbuck Cumberbatch or Doctor Strange. I'm just going to call him Doctor Strange because I can't say his name for T in China. But Doctor Strange, I expect him to be on there, and I do expect that Tom Holland will be added later on as well as Spider-Man. Okay, but where is, Monica Rambeau, who was played by Tiana Paris in not only WandaVision as well as in the Marvels? Where is Iman Vellani at, who plays Miss Marvel in the Miss Marvel series? I thought the Miss Marvel series was a pretty decent series. It wasn't like spectacular or anything, but I thought it was a pretty decent series. I liked it a little bit. Okay. It has some good moments in there, and I think it really laid the groundwork for her. And I think that really the Marvels kind of failed her in that aspect. Okay, because when I watched the Marvels, it kind of felt like Kamala Khan, who was played by Iman Vellani, kind of took a step backward from where she had ended up in Miss Marvel. Okay, so I'm kind of wondering, where are these actors and where are these characters at? I didn't see the Hulk in that. All right, I didn't see Agent Carter. I didn't see Coulson. I didn't see Quake. I didn't see a lot of characters that should be, if we're talking about a multiversal event, that Doomsday and Secret Wars are meant to be, okay? And that's what they're being billed as some type of multiversal event. Then where are all these other characters? I can understand maybe Chris Evans not being there because, you've got someone else playing as the Human Torch. So you would not want two people who have played the same character be in the movie. Okay. I fully expect they will announce Spider-Man and they will be bringing in Doctor Strange. But where is the love for Marvel TV at? Okay. Are they just like canceling out Marvel TV here? Because I don't see Tiana Paris, who played Monica Rambeau. I don't see Imana Vellani. I don't see Charlie Cox. I don't see Vincent D'Onofrio. I don't see any of these. I don't see Hawkeye. I don't see any of them. Okay. So I'm just kind of wondering, are they just like pushing Marvel TV to the side here? Are they going to come in later? I mean, they said that there's going to be room for more, and I fully suspect there will be more being added. But I do hope that they do show some love to Marvel TV, okay? And not just make this all about Marvel movies, but Marvel TV as well. And another thing I kind of got from all this was that this was meant to integrate everything, okay? That we ain't just talking about the current Marvel stuff, whether you're talking about the movies or TV shows, but we're talking about everything from the 90s Marvel stuff that they did all the way to what we got going on right now. Okay. That's the overall impression that I'm getting right now. That Doomsday and Secret Wars are meant to be some type of reset for the Marvel MCU. Okay. And if that's true, does that mean that we're going to see some of our favorite characters die in this? Okay. I mean, does that mean that we are going to see characters like Nightcrawler and Magneto and Professor Xavier, the ones that we know from the 90s series, are we going to see them die? Or are they going to carry on? You know, and another question I really have is, how are people going to react to Robert Downey Jr. being a bad guy when for 10 years he was not exactly the perfect hero, but he was a hero? He gave up everything to save all of reality, to stop Thanos. And now we're seeing him as Doctor Doom. Okay, how are people going to react to that? But anyway, that was the announcement for who all, as of right now, as of March 2025, is playing in the next Avengers movie, which is titled Avengers Doomsday. This one and the one after it, called Avengers Secret Wars, are basically going to be some type of multiversal thing. And it's including some people we know from the 90s series as well as people we know now. But my first issue is there really isn't a whole lot of love for Marvel TV yet. But where is Iman Vellani as Kamala Khan? Where is Tiana Paris as Monica Rambeau? All right. Where are they at? All right. Where is Charlie Cox as Daredevil? Where is Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin? I mean, where are they at? So I really don't see a whole lot of love for Marvel TV in this announcement as of right now. That could change. Really, you know, my overall impression of the announcement was it was meant to get the hype train going. Okay, really, it was meant to get the hype train going for this movie because Avengers Doomsday drops next year, May 1st, 2026. And then the next year, we're getting Avengers Secret Wars. Okay. So I fully expect to hear more about other people jumping on and all that. I, I really just, you know, this teaser is really meant to get the hype train going because it adds people we know from the current MCU with people we love from the old MCU, like the 1990s stuff. Okay. But I still don't know about it. I'm still unsure about it because Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing a bad guy when for 10 years we knew him as a good guy. There is not much love for Marvel TV on here. And there's been some good Marvel TV like WandaVision, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye. Okay. Just to name a few. So, yeah, I really don't know what to think of this announcement right now, other than it is interesting. It does show us that they're trying to somehow connect the old stuff to the new stuff. But the question is, are they going to start making cuts? And what I mean by that is, are they going to start cutting off characters we've grown to love, like Charles Xavier, like Magneto, and so forth and so forth? But the overall impression I got from this announcement was that was Avengers Doomsday was meant to connect the entirety of Marvel from the 1990s up to today. And that makes me wonder if this is meant to connect everything, if Secret Wars ain't meant to consolidate everything, to decide what goes and what stays.
Continuing on with this week's TV and movie news segment.
So, our next story in our movie and TV news is kind of one that kind of harkens back to my childhood. When I was a kid, I always watched Saturday morning cartoons. Okay. I remember Inspector Gadget, He Man, G.I. Joe. But when I was really young, the one that really got me was Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, the Rooster, the Dog, Tom and Jerry, all that. Okay. Looney Tunes. All right. Well, recently they were moved to Max, and then suddenly Max just removed them. Okay. Out of the blue, just removed all of Looney Tunes cartoons. And fans of these cartoons, fans who love these cartoons, whether they be adults or children, had nowhere to watch them really. Well, that all changed when the free streaming site Tubi went and saved Looney Tunes. Okay. And this is coming from Comic Book Resources, and it said that Max almost wants nothing to do with Looney Tunes, okay, as most of the content has been scrubbed from the streaming service. However, fans will be able to watch some of the removed Looney Tunes programming for free at its new streaming home. Okay. And it talks down here about how Tubi came to the rescue and saved Looney Tunes, saved Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Tweety Bird, all that. Okay, they saved these. The only way I can describe it is they saved a cherished property from being completely wiped out. All right. And I'm so glad. Okay. Now, look, do I watch these still? No. But I know people who do love these old cartoons. When they're having a bad day, they can sit there and they can flip and turn on Bugs Bunny or turn on Daffy Duck. And within a few minutes, they're smiling and they're like, okay, my day ain't so bad. All right. Everyone has that within them. Okay. Just sitting down, watching a good comedic cartoon, not having to worry about lore or anything, just sitting down and just losing yourself in a simple story that kind of takes you back to being a child again. Okay. And I'm glad they saved it. Okay. Because if I'm going to be honest, kids today are missing out. All right. Kids today don't have Saturday morning cartoons anymore. They really don't. I mean, I think Ion does something on Saturday mornings, but really the big networks like, Channel 30 or whatever your Channel 30 would be, or ABC or whatnot, they don't have Saturday morning cartoons anymore. Okay. And kids really are missing out. They don't know what it was like to get up at 5 in the morning in your pajamas, running into the living room, making you some cereal, turning on the TV to watch this show or that show. Whether you're talking about Saturday morning cartoons, going out and exploring, Saturday night anime. I mean, sometimes it feels like they're missing out on so much. Okay. And that's why I'm glad that Tubi is saving Looney Tunes. Okay. I think this is a great thing. All right. I think that it at least preserves something that meant so much to so many people. Okay. That something got preserved that meant so much to so many people that still does today. And I know that there are arguments out there. Okay. I've heard these, in my opinion, these incorrect arguments about Looney Tunes. But I'm honestly, for one, glad it was saved. Hope it keeps on going forward. And who knows? Maybe if it gets popular enough, they'll make more Looney Tunes cartoons.
Continuing on with this week's TV and movie news segment.
So, continuing on with our final bit of movie and TV news. Since 2023, we have been hearing about a Legend of Zelda live action movie. And a lot of us honestly expected one, especially after the success of Super Mario Brothers. Now, granted, Super Mario Brothers was animated. I will grant you that. But we were all expecting a Legend of Zelda movie, okay? And for a while now, we've heard from Nintendo that one is in production. I think they officially announced one in production in 2023. This past week, we got some huge news from that part of the internet, from that part of Nintendo, about a Legend of Zelda movie, live action movie. This here is the trailer for it that dropped this past week. So let's take a look at it, and I'll give you some of my thoughts and opinions on it. There ain't a whole lot here, but still, it's pretty big. So first off, I'm digging the old school like Legend of Zelda theme. That really does take me back. And I think that's really going to connect to a lot of people who grew up playing Zelda. Whether you're talking about A Link to the Past or the original Zelda on the Nintendo, I think that's really going to connect with a lot of people. And at the center of the screen, you do see the Triforce, okay? So I have to wonder if they're not doing a movie in the original timeline universe, okay, that we all grew up with. Not something that was in Twilight Princess or Majora's Mask or anything like that, but the OG like timeline. And I'm not very familiar with the Zelda timelines, okay, but there's all these different timelines when it comes to Zelda, where you're talking about A Link to the Past, which was on the Super Nintendo, or the original Legend of Zelda, or the OG Zelda that was way back when. Okay, like I think that they're doing the original timeline, the one that was on the NES, based on the music and based on us seeing the Triforce there. And see, it's going to be released worldwide, so it ain't going to be suddenly open up in Japan and then open up in the States. It's going to be released worldwide, same time, everywhere. So right there, we get a date of March 26, 2027. Let me just say this, okay? If they're going to keep this date, and the fact that they're announcing this date means they've talked to the people who like do all the marketing. They've talked to the people who start lining up theaters, start lining up streaming services. They've talked to all these people, and they've all decided, okay, it's happening, and we're doing it on the 27th or 26th of March, 2027. Okay. So they've had to talk to all these people. So so either it's going to happen on this day or a little after, okay? Because they would not announce a day if they had not coordinated everything and talked to everyone and basically said, okay, this is when it's happening. So that was the Zelda trailer, what we're calling the teaser right now. I know it's not a proper trailer. There's still a lot we don't know. We don't know who's playing Link. We don't know who's playing Zelda. We don't know who's going to play Ganondorf. Okay. These are big names that we need to know who are going to be playing these roles. Okay. But we did get another bit of news this past week concerning the Zelda movie that I want to talk about. So this bit of news came out right as I was recording everything. And I wanted to add to it because this does affect the Zelda movie, okay? So there's been some new details come out. And if you scroll down here, and this is coming from comicbook.com, it says here that the Legend of Zelda movie is being planned as the first in a trilogy. And this is according to insider Daniel Richtman. All major roles will be signed for 3 years, planned over 6 years. And on top of all this, there's going to be filming done in New Zealand. Okay. Now, as of right now, this is still rumor. Okay. Let's just be honest. This is still rumor as of right now. But if true, okay, that is big. Because they have to sign all these actors up for not 1 year or 2 years, but multiple years. Okay. So that way they don't have to keep on signing them up for, say, the second movie and the third movie. Okay. This could also be a way for them to start a Zelda verse. Okay. Where they could start, I guess you could call it a Zelda verse, but some type of Zelda connected universe. Okay. That could also be an indicator of something they're doing. But the second thing is, I've heard that they're doing shooting in New Zealand. Now, this is also big because this is where Lord of the Rings was filmed. Okay. The original Lord of the Rings films. Okay. They were filmed in New Zealand. So, my takeaways from this are as follows. So, first off, we're getting a Zelda movie. Okay. They would not be announcing a release date if we weren't getting the movie, if it weren't in production now. Okay. Secondly, it's coming out in 2 years. So that means over the next 2 years, we should be getting some big announcements. I think that in order to get the hype train going, we'll probably get a trailer next year, right around the Super Bowl, or maybe during a Nintendo Direct next year, okay, in 2026. I think right now they're just trying to get people to know that there is a Zelda movie happening. They're trying to get people to know that it is happening. This is the day it's going to be coming out on. Set it for your clock, set it for your calendar, and just be basically a wait and see approach to the Zelda movie. And also the fact that they are, if it's true, okay, let's just be honest. If it's true, they're going to be signing them up for not one movie but 3 movies, and they're also going to be filming in New Zealand, which was where the original Lord of the Rings movies was filmed. These are both big because that means that these actors, if they sign that contract, they got to be ready at a moment's notice to go and film the next movie in the sequence. They can't just cut out, okay? Basically, ladies and gentlemen, this Zelda announcement is the start of the hype train, okay? It's basically the start of it, okay? Now, there's still a lot of information we need to know. We need to know what timeline is going to take place in. And I do think it will take place in the original timeline, okay? I do think it'll take place in the original timeline of the original NES game, okay? I think that also that they are going to be using maybe some songs from the original game, and that the whole trailer announcement was meant to get a lot of the nostalgia people getting ready for this. Because by now, there's a lot of people who grew up playing Zelda. And that's why they did the Triforce. That's why they did the music the way they did. Because they were trying to get that nostalgia feel going. Okay. You know, I have to know more information before I get on the hype train. But I have to say, they've started off well with this announcement.
Now, moving on from the world of TV and movies, let's look at what happened this week in the world of video games.
So, moving on to our gaming news segment, we are going to talk about something that is not really about gaming so much as the reporting of gaming. And what I'm talking about is the return of Game Informer. Now, if you don't remember what Game Informer was, if you were a power-up subscription like I had, okay, which was part of GameStop's loyalty program, you got Game Informer for free, okay? You could also buy it at GameStop stores. And basically, it was a game review magazine, okay? Last August, they shut down. They were closed just out of the blue, just shut down completely. Well, now they're back, okay? And this is their video saying they're back. So we're going to take a look at this video, and I'm just going to give you some of my thoughts and opinions on it. But this here's the video of the return of Game Informer.
And so is 100% of the team that was bringing you Game Informer when we shut down this past summer.
That means production, design, video, editorial, everybody.
Everything you loved about Game Informer before is coming back, but we're rethinking it and evolving it to be bigger and better.
Game Informer has been around since 1991, and yes, we were blipped out of existence for a couple months here, but we're back, and I'm really excited to pick up where we left off and ramp things up to be even better.
Of course, we were devastated when Game Informer shut down this past summer because we loved working together as a team, but the thing that came as a shock was the outpouring of support and enthusiasm that came from you as readers and from people around the industry for what Game Informer had meant to them.
Which is completely true, okay? I mean, when you're a kid, you love getting these Game Informer magazines in mail, like Electronic Gaming Monthly and Game Informer, you know? And the fact that it was part of your Power Up Rewards subscription was kind of awesome, okay? So, yeah, I completely agree with that, all right? I'm not disagreeing with that, all right?
I personally received messages from people who talked about growing up reading Game Informer and being excited about getting that magazine in their mailbox every month and what that meant for them. And we felt that that meant something and that it was something that was worth trying to fight for and preserve. So that's what we did.
If you unfollowed us on all our platforms like YouTube or Blue Sky or Instagram, I don't blame you. We disappeared.
Okay, right there, I have a problem, okay? And I'm going to go back and show it again, because I want you to listen to what they say, okay? I want you to listen very carefully to what they say.
Fight for and preserve. So that's what we did.
If you unfollowed us on all our platforms like YouTube or Blue Sky or Instagram, I don't blame you. We disappeared. But we...
Did you notice there that they said YouTube and Blue Sky and Instagram? But they did not mention X, okay? Now, when I first heard that, I didn't really think much of it. Okay, I really didn't think much of it, and maybe I'm overthinking this. Okay, but why would they mention Blue Sky, but not mention X? X is drastically bigger in terms of just overall what the audience they reach compared to Blue Sky. So why would they mention Blue Sky and YouTube and Instagram, but not mention X? I mean, seriously, this has got me kind of wondering about this. And let me explain why it's got me kind of wondering about this. Look, in a game review, I want to know what the game does right, what it does wrong, what the person who played it experienced, and basically just give an overall score, whether or not I should buy it or not. Okay? I'm now worried that the return of Game Informer will be political. And I hate to say that. Just by what they said right there. Okay? And let me go back again and show it again because I want you to hear what they said, okay? I want you to listen to what they said here, all right?
For and preserve. So that's what we did.
If you unfollowed us on all our platforms like YouTube or Blue Sky or Instagram, I don't blame you. We disappeared. But we have the keys back to all those accounts.
Okay, they did not mention X. And when I first heard this, I didn't think much of it, okay? I really didn't think much of it. But why wouldn't they mention X? And I just think either it's a slip of the tongue, which if it's a slip of the tongue, so be it. Okay, fine. Okay, maybe I'm reading too much into it. But if it's not, if we're talking about this magazine having a serious political leaning, then it's dead on arrival out the door. It literally is. Okay. In order for the return of Game Informer to be right, they've got to remove all the political nonsense from their reviews, okay, from their stories. And they just got to tell us the straight skinny about these games. What's coming out, what's already out, how they played, the previews, all that. And keep all their political nonsense to themselves. Or else Game Informer is going to be shut down again. It's literally going to be shut down again if they start going this woke path. And I really don't want them doing that, you know?
They're active again, so go hit those follow buttons.
All of that is coming back, including an all-new approach to Game Informer magazine, both in print and digital forms.
The short
Now, that right there is another thing. Look, I'm not against having print magazine, okay? In fact, I think print magazine is a kind of a lost art, okay? But I know a lot of stores where I used to buy print magazines no longer sell print magazines because the majority of people buy their magazines online now. They buy them not to have like a physical copy, but something to read on their Kindle or something, okay? So I'm kind of wondering if perhaps the time of the print magazine is over and done with, okay? Whether that is a mistake.
version is that Gunzilla Games purchased
Now, going back there, I want to go back there for a minute.
version is that Gunzilla Games
So, Gunzilla Games, they are currently working on Off the Grid, but they have not brought forth a successful game, okay? They've not brought forth a game, period. And yet they're buying a gaming magazine. That's something else that's got me kind of worried, okay? And you're going to hear them talk about here in a minute how they have a completely independent editorial staff and stuff. But I am worried that, that ain't going to be necessarily true. Okay? And it's just setting up more alarm bells for me. Why Gunzilla Games, a gaming company that has not bought or brought towards the market a gaming game, period. They're currently working on Off the Grid. How and why they bought Game Informer. Okay, it's just, I don't know. I just get the feeling that something's wrong. Okay, I just really get the feeling that something is wrong here.
Purchased Game Informer. Game Informer now operates under an independent entity called Game Informer Inc.
Editorial independence has been foundational for Game Informer ever since it was started back in the 90s. and it will continue to be a sacred element of
No, that's another thing right there. Is the Game Informer show coming back? Okay. I hope it is. All right.
our operation going forward.
All of Game Informer's editorial content is 100% selected by our editorial team without any outside influence, including from the new owners. In fact, that editorial integrity is something the new owners insisted upon as strongly as we did. Our team today considers ourselves stewards of this legacy of Game Informer that has been built up over 30 plus years. I myself have had the good fortune to work with dozens of talented individuals who've come through over the 20 years I've been with the company and see the way that they have shaped and defined what Game Informer is all about.
Stay tuned in the coming months for more information about the relaunch of our physical magazine. But in the meantime, you can go to GameInformer.com right now and catch up on a ton of reviews of games that came out while we were shut down.
It's belated, but you can find our 2024 Game of the Year awards on GameInformer.com right now. We didn't want this little gap in Game Informer history to mean that we didn't celebrate the year of 2024, and we also just really missed arguing with each other.
We can't wait to bring Game Informer magazine back into your hands, hopefully bigger and better than it was before, and continue delivering some of the best coverage of games, the people who make games, and the people who play games from all around the world. More robust membership and subscription offers are on the way in the coming weeks, but if you'd like to support Game Informer right now, you can sign up for early benefits today.
Thank you so much for watching this video and for your continued support of Game Informer. We are so glad to be back.
Okay, so that was the video announcing their return. Like I said before, I hope they don't fall into the same trap that a lot of other companies have fallen into. Okay, I hope they stay away from the political nonsense. I really do hope that Godzilla Games doesn't try and force an opinion down their throats. Okay, and I really am kind of concerned about doing both a digital and print version. Okay, because I have to wonder if maybe print ain't dead in terms of magazines, okay? And this is a niche magazine, okay? Let's just be honest. This is for the gamers, not really for a general audience, but this is for the gamers, okay? But they are coming back. The website is live. I've seen it. It's okay. It's a basic, simple website. They're talking about a print version that's supposed to be coming back sometime in the near future. But like I said before, I am concerned about just the political nonsense being infected with it. And also if Godzilla really will just leave them to their own devices. If those two things happen in terms of them going all woke and adding politics into game reviews, as well as Godzilla kind of exerting some type of pressure on Game Informer, then they're just going to fall apart. And that's just the bottom line of it. Well, everyone, that was your Geek Report for the week of March 24th through March 31st of 2025. To kind of review what we talked about, we first talked about the Avengers Doomsday cast announcements. There were a lot of announcements for this cast and a lot of left outs for this announcement as well. And we talked about as much as we can. Then we talked about the tubi streaming service saving Looney Tunes cartoons and what this meant for people like me who grew up watching cartoons like Looney Tunes, like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, and etc. And then our final movie and TV news story we talked about was the Legend of Zelda film getting a March 26, 2027 release date with a teaser and the reporting that it is going to be part one of a trilogy. I kind of talked about that for a little bit and gave you my overall impressions of it. And then we moved on into gaming news and we talked about the fact that Game Informer magazine has returned. I kind of gave you my overall thoughts on this as well. So thank y'all for watching the Geek Report. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are staying safe, staying healthy. Check out my other video sites as well as my social media at the end of this video. I will see you guys in the next video and in the next stream. Later.
Thank you for watching this week's Geek Report. I hope you enjoyed it. Please check out my other video sites as well as my social media. And if you can please, leave a like and a comment on this video. We will see you guys in the next video and the next stream. Laters.